I'll have you know, I've not just been sat here all afternoon. I've been out all afternoon talking to my sources, trying to find out what the real issue is at Manchester United. If you know, you know. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Forever United TV. Burnley tomorrow, crunch time, makeshift United, company out for revenge, ex-City manager. Everything is set up for a downfall of Manchester United, but it's not going to happen. United are going to get the 3 points tomorrow, and we're going to tell you why. Jay will be joining me shortly. He's just on his way back in from work. He's running a tad late, but will be joining us on the show tonight. I'm sure he's got a lot to say regarding Rashford and what has gone on, everything in the news. The press conference has happened today as well. Ten Hag not allowing certain journalists to speak in the press conference. The usual stuff. You know my stance against that. I think it's stupid on Ten Hag's part to not speak to certain media. The fact that, and some people would have you think that they were banned from the press conference today. They weren't. They were sat there. They were allowed in. They just didn't get a chance to answer a question. This happens quite a lot, actually. To be honest, some of them journalists that are there don't always get to answer questions anyway. So the way it was been built up, and Ten Hag banning the press and banning the media, yeah, it's a load of garbage, really. There's just certain people that didn't get a chance to answer a question, but they were all there and they were all writing still and all giving their opinions on what has been said and what's been done. But let's be honest, this has been an actual all right week for Ten Hag when you look at it. I mean, like after the pressure of Sunday, like the focus has somewhat been taken away from him right now. He's got players that are running for him, running through brick walls for him, literally playing with broken bones. If you go to Bruno Fernandes, the captain, actually carrying the team right now in terms of scoring goals anyway. But everyone's giving everything. We criticise the quality of the players and everything like that, but they're all there. They're all giving everything. We've got Mason Mount back. He's been backed by the club in banning certain journalists. So when you look at everything going on, I think old Baldy's best. He's actually having an all right week this week. I think it's not been too bad for him. So, yeah, compared to what it was like the last few weeks and the pressure that he's been under, I think it's been an all right one. But in that press conference as well, he actually thinks, and get this, guys, he actually thinks that Martial is actually going to play for United again this season. Like, honestly, I hope he's just saying that. And he did say it in a sense of like, you expect to see Martinez, Shaw and Martial available by the end of the season. I think some reports have just said, look, he said that Martial can play for United again this season. Honestly, if you'd have said that Martial has got a chance of playing from now until the end of the season with 5 games to go, I'd probably say that's pretty much saying that Martial is never going to play for Manchester United ever again. And if that is the case, then I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem at all with that. Martial hasn't really put himself forward. I've done anything for this football club for a long time. I'm happy for him to go. We want to talk through all of the players that are on that out list as well. And do you know what? We briefly touched on it this morning, or in the lunchtime show, sorry, but I want to go into it in a bit more detail as well regarding them players and who is actually going on a free, and how much money United can actually get for certain players. It's not looking very good right now. And you know what? With all of the people that Manchester United are bringing in upstairs and the whole new structure of the football club, I actually don't think that they're going to have much to play around with in terms of money. But hey, we've got plenty to talk about. We're going to get into it all. This is Forever United TV. Welcome everyone again. It's live. Get your comments in the live section if you are joining us now. Make sure you comment after the show is finished on the live as well. We'll try and come back to as many questions as possible. It has been a very, very, very busy day at Manchester United. Everything is going on right now. It is absolute carnage. It really is. And you know what? Tomorrow it can all just be put to bed. Like, if United get that win tomorrow, like, the water's just calm. That's what happens. I keep saying it nearly every single week. It's like results are the biggest cure for any issue at a football club. And at Manchester United, I think it was Rob Dawson from ESPN I was speaking to. He said it exactly how it is at United. If United don't win, everything gets brought to the fore. Everything gets talked about even more. If United are winning, it masks everything. So if United go on a 3-game winning run, no one's talking. No one's talking at all. Not one person is saying a thing about United behind the scenes or anything that's going wrong with the club or certain players or the manager or certain players' futures, who's going where, who's being sold. It just gets put to bed instantly. United just need to be winning. If United lose tomorrow or don't pick up the points tomorrow, you know what the week's going to be like for Ten Hag. It's a long week ahead of the Crystal Palace game on Bank Holiday Monday. It's a good one in terms of him not having to talk to the press. Again, like double game week means multi press conferences with Ten Hag, and this is where all the problems happen, as we've seen with the media this week and the bans and certain people that cannot get access or get questions. Yeah, it just goes into stupid mode, doesn't it? Tit for tat, basically. Tit for tat. But I actually spoke with one of them journalists. I'm not going to say which one. I spoke with one of them journalists that apparently wasn't able, to ask a question today. Was there in attendance at Carrington, but wasn't allowed. He said he's just having a bit of a flap, was the words. He won't last much longer. It's brutal, isn't it? The media world is brutal. Like, honestly, this is why I said, like, just don't give him that ammunition to go in on you even stronger, Eric. This is what my stance has always been. Just sit there and be the Manchester United manager. Just tell him. Tell him to the face, like, you are big enough and strong enough. Like, if you fully believe in what you're doing, and in this press conference as well today, Ten Hag, let's not forget, he said we've made major progress this season. That's a bit strong, isn't it, Eric? Let's be honest. Like, when we want to try and defend you, mate, you're not giving us much ammunition, really. You're not giving us much to go back on. Like, to say that we have really progressed this season. It's like, have you seen the table, Eric? Have you seen the amount of goals we've scored and conceded? How many games we've lost on the cusp of the worst ever Premier League record? Sometimes I wonder, like where his lines come from. I'm just like, well, to be honest, though, in fairness to Eric today, he was talking regarding how Manchester United and the style of play and the possession-based football and things like that is improving. Like, it's not. It really isn't. You only have to look at the stats and the amount of games that we win when we're in possession of the ball compared to games that we don't have a lot of possession in. It's crazy when you look into it. Daz Salford with a super chat. Thank you, Daz. Really appreciate that, buddy. Are we allowed to speak about Sir Lord, His Right Honourable Marcus Rashford? You say whatever you want, Daz. This is a free country. Last time I checked, we all have an opinion. We all pay our money to watch Manchester United. And when someone tells you to be quiet or shut up, you usually do one thing, which is not, and come back and have a say. And that is the case with Marcus. I said all I needed to say about him this morning. I'm still convinced he won't be leaving this summer, even though I want him to be gone. I don't think Manchester United, which we're going to go into in this video, have enough money to bring in a replacement. And I don't think anyone is going to want to take Marcus Rashford. There's too much baggage. 10 gifted memberships from the absolute legendary Modern Samurai dropped right in there right now, guys. Who has taken them? Let's go through the list, shall we? Wayne Shevlin, William Haggerty, Ken Ogawa, Jacob Hansen, Nevesy, Ryan, how do you say that? Kokorin, Ryan Kokorin. I think I got that right. Sorry if I get any of these names wrong. You know what I'm like. Tulu Wamini. I'm sorry if I got that one wrong, buddy. But welcome to the members club. Andrew, Mafia City, Jake, DM Mascaphobic. I think I said that right. I'm really sorry. Like, you know what I'm like with my dyslexia. Sometimes reading posh words and big names and complicated long words out, it just goes a bit scrambly on me. I love you all. You are now classed as FUTV legends, guys, so welcome to the members club anyway. But yeah, moving on to just as I was moving on, another legend hits back. It's like a fight between the legends right now. Daz Salford has just dropped 5 more memberships in, everybody. First of all, can we just put a massive thank you into Modern Samurai? Like, this guy does this constantly, nearly every single stream. What a man. Daz Salford, again, please, everybody, just put your hands together virtually for these guys, for contributing so much. Do you know what? It means a lot to everybody. It gives everybody else opportunities to do like we do with Tifo and the watch-alongs and have a bit of fun and do a bit of extra content as well. And everything that we do get from what we make, we just plow right back into the channel and try and make things better for you guys. Mega. Mesque, Boz. I'm just reading through the new members here. Sorry, it's gone off my page. Mesque, Boz, Neil, Isaac, and Joey75. Welcome to the members club, guys. 15 new members. We're not even 10 minutes into the show. It's mega, that, isn't it? Civil Biscuit. Love that. Rashford doesn't admit his form. Prima donna twonk in a super chat for that. Like I said, I said it earlier on today, everyone's open for criticism. When you're not doing it on the pitch, that's the biggest problem. That's where everything starts. And then anything you do after that, or if you try and sugarcoat it, if you try and fight back against it like Rashford has, then the mood turns even sourer and the fans turn against you. Then they start picking out on little things that probably shouldn't even be picked out on. You start to get fans turning against you. Talking about fans and actually being part of it, Ten Hag has come out in his presser today and said that the fans are 100% behind the players. He hears it every single week. In fact, Sheffield United on Wednesday night, and I promise you, he wasn't told to say this by the club because of all the tickets that were sent back. Apparently, Erik Ten Hag has said that the atmosphere walking out against Sheffield United was the loudest it's been while he's been at the club. Wrong answer. False. There goes that Pinocchio nose. I'm only joking. He's got to say these things. It wasn't a sellout. There was empty seats all over Old Trafford. A lot of fans had just had enough. The way that the fans are treated in terms of kickoff times alone, and then the style of football and the quality of the football we've been watching, you cannot really blame fans. One good thing that the club have done, well, I won't say it's good, but it's better, is, I was going to mention this yesterday, but there was too much going on, that they have turned the new season ticket system where you have to have gone to at least 17 games to be able to renew the following season has changed and come back down to 15. So one more than what we've had this season, where we've had to have gone to at least 14 games. So, yeah, they've changed that up. They're trying to help. They've subsidised tickets for the FA Cup finals, for the FA Cup final for under-16s. By the way, guys, that ballot is now open. So if you are eligible to apply for the FA Cup final, get onto that now. That's on the website. So get to it, guys. And yeah, Ten Hag has just been bigging up everything at the moment. He backed Marcus Rashford in saying he needs our support. We've seen what he did last season. So that's all good. Yeah, fair enough. But again, right at the start of the show, I said it, Burnley's the only thing that really matters right now. Concentrate on the football. Because if we don't get the result against Burnley, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. It is a full-on 8 days of pain for Erik Ten Hag, and reports and stories and speculation. On the eve, sorry, not on the eve, idiot. On the day after, the weekend where he bans the media, and I don't know if he's going to do it again, in terms of who can actually ask questions and whatnot in the post-match presser after Burnley. But can you imagine, after banning certain members, or say just ignoring certain members of the media, them same members actually sat there watching today are going to be there Saturday afternoon after the game is finished. If you lose that game, can you imagine what they're going to be like? Honestly, you might as well shh, there's the knife. It's been sharpened again. That's what it's going to be like. Just sometimes, near enough all the time this season, in fact, Ten Hag just keeps on digging and digging and digging and digging. He's not helping himself. And do you know what? I just feel like he's putting pressure on these players at the moment when he doesn't need to. This was a moment to actually say, look, we just beat Sheffield United. No, not a great team, but we scored 4 goals. Bruno's in form. Harry Maguire, brilliant, coming back from all the criticism. 2 players there, like I said this morning, that deserve praise after being heavily criticised. Some players that can actually take the critique at Manchester United. Maybe focus on them. He did it when asked about Anthony's reaction against Coventry, so why not do it again in terms of Harry Maguire's impact at the football club now? People who were slagging off Samuel Lucas, they just gone straight past his article about how important Harry Maguire is and Bruno Fernandes is, and just gone to the bad bit. Everyone always looks for the worst in what the media write. And they're obviously the headlines that everyone goes to. We always just, we levitate to the negatives, don't we? It's just natural human instincts. And in football, I think especially, that's what happens. But there are some good things being written about Manchester United at the moment, and people just seem to be ignoring them. There are some really good articles there about how players have turned it around and what players are actually doing right now. So I think we just need to remember that as well. And you know what? Tomorrow's all about getting behind the team when we're in the ground, like everyone always is. We'll do our talking afterwards. like we always do. That's not going to stop because everyone's got an opinion. But tomorrow is really important that United get a result against Burnley, because that long wait to that next game will be painful if it's on the back of a defeat. So let's just look at how Manchester United approach Burnley and what we do in that game. I'm just going to double check, make sure that Jay's not available yet. No, he's not here. We have a couple of super chats in the meantime to read out from Matthew Holman, first of all. You can't blame Rashi for his reaction, mate. He survived the trauma of having to take the bus as a kid, and that alone shows how brave and strong he is. Matthew, I know exactly where you're coming from, mate. You deserve your opinion, and you deserve to say what you want to say. I'm not saying it's wrong at all. I'm just going to say, for people that sort of like argue for Marcus Rashford, this is the sort of reaction from fans that you've got to expect when you give it the old birdie song, and if you don't back me, it's even better. Like, you cannot stop the fans from criticising football players. It's part and parcel. Just listen to what Bruno Fernandes says. Thank you for that, Matthew. Cyril Biscuit is back again with another super chat. You're a grand lad, Adam. Good vibe on this channel. Thank you, Cyril. It always is. And all my members, mods, and everyone is... I know Kaz just said Matthew's taking a piss. I know he's being sarcastic. I know. I do know. She's laughing at that one, Matthew, by the way. It is. It is. Like I said, that's what you get. That is what you get. Like, you come out with stuff about buses and stuff like everyone has to do in every single walk of life, like every single day. And then you've got to expect criticism. You have. There are plenty of players that have had a harder life than Marcus Rashford. Let's put it that way. And a harder upbringing. Thank you, Cyril. And Matthew, thank you as well for your super chats. Pleasure to have you in the room. Daz says, do a poll. Would you get rid of Rashford at a cut price? Should we do a poll on it? Do we need to do a poll? I think we know. The Green Sheet couldn't even afford the bus. The Green Sheet had to walk, says Modern Samurai. The Green Sheet is fine. It's all right. It looks nice when I've got the studio on it. Anyone who's a member will know exactly what Modern Samurai is talking about there. Tom Porter is in the chat. Tom, I keep forgetting, mate. Do you know what, Tom? We seen you outside Old Trafford the other day. I need to get your address to send you that prize, mate. I completely forgot about it. My mistake. You did win the last prize donated by the other legend, which is the Honest Tiger. So I will have to get your details. If you can DM me at any point, mate, just so I can get your address and we'll send you one of them over. Louise says, club have no control. Rash does what he wants. Sancho did what he wanted. Leacher parted too long after the World Cup. Hasn't been the same since, and then travelled against the club's wishes when injured. I was also told that Sofian Amrabat also went against the club's wishes as well and didn't take the club's recommendations. So there are people at Manchester United that are sort of lashing out because the medical team is getting a beating at the moment. And I think some people were just saying that, you know what, it's not all the same way. It's not all against Manchester United, and it isn't always their fault. Some of the players have to take responsibility for it as well. And I think we have got Jay in the house right now as well. If you guys give me 1 second, I'm going to bring our man Jay in. Bear with me 1 sec, guys. Let's just get Jay in, see what he's got to say on the matter. I'm sure he has got a plenty. Right, bear with me a second, guys. Oh, look at that, moonwalking across the studio. You know I could do that, did you guys? Levitating. Right, 1 second. We're almost set. Keep them comments coming in. If you've got any questions for me or Jay, guys, let us know. Get them in the comments section right now. But Jay is in the room. Jay, good day for you, my friend. How are you doing?
Friday traffic, my friend. You know how it is. Anywhere in the world, Friday traffic. So apologies.
Don't you worry, my man. It's totally fine. We're glad to have you in the room with us. We were just talking about the game tomorrow, but I'm sure you'll want to have your say, like many others, on what happened with Marcus Rashford and after the game and his tweet and response to a certain tweet and how the meltdown has been on social media. So give us your take on how you see everything going down. Where is the blame at with all of this one, Jay?
Okay, but first of all, I just want to put a context there. We'll all cast our minds back to 1998 World Cup when Glenn Hoddle threw Beckham under the bus and made him public enemy number one in England. English press, English media were anti-Beckham. I know that's pre-social media, but every ground Beckham went to, he was getting dogs abuse to the point where the English public were even burning effigies of him. Fast forward to 04 when Ronaldo and Rooney had to spat. Ronaldo got dogs abuse. So elite players with elite mentality, they block out the noise, the white noise of the stands, of the fans, and of social media. And they get on and they do the talking on the pitch. And I think Marcus Rashford and his entourage, it's a deflection. They'll do all the talking on social media and whatnot to deflect from his blatant lack of performance on the pitch. Over my shoulder, there's a little thing that I live by. It says, commitment. Determination is often the first chapter in the book of excellence. And I live by those words, lived by them for a long time. Am I excellent in everything? No, far from it. Made a lot of failures, but I'm still committed to the cause. I don't think Marcus Rashford, for me, over the last couple of years, Adam, has displayed enough commitment to the cause. And he certainly has not read any of the chapters in the Book of Excellence. That's my take on it, Adam.
No, I think it was. I think you put that well there, Jay. I wondered why you'd slid to the side of your camera there, so everyone could see that over your left shoulder there. That little saying. I love that. But yeah, no. Some players deal with it differently than others, Jay. That's basically it. Like the ones that make it are the ones that can channel it. Like even our mate Scott McTominay, when I said this earlier on today, I'll just say it again for anyone who missed the show, but a journalist who had a big spat with Scott McTominay had it out with him and he had a face-to-face. All good now. And he said to him, Scott looks on social media, he Googles his name and looks up all the criticism and uses it as fuel to carry on going forward. That's the difference in it. It's like, do you know what, Jay? I said it about Rashford. Do you know what? In this morning, I didn't even go in on Marcus Rashford on what happened the other night because you knew that it was his entourage. It was his social media manager, whoever it is who did that tweet. They seen the word abuse, I thought, and they've automatically jumped on it. And now Rashford is having to deal with everything else. I mean, Rashford is not innocent. Like, he is the one that's causing the problems for himself right now with his performances on the pitch. But it's who's around him and the whole team behind him, his PR, his advisors, his agents, his family, whoever it is, they're the ones I feel that are making it difficult for him. Mark Lambridge with a super chat says, too many snowflakes, not men, that's the difference. I mean, Mark, who played the game. Jay, on that, with his PR people, do you agree on that side of it? Like, he could make amends if he acts differently, but I just don't see him doing it. I think he's just got caught up in all the hype about who he is, his whole in his own eyes legendary status. I just don't see it changing with him.
Okay, so pardon me. Clearly, it was one of his entourage that was up last night. What was it, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning?
12, mate. Yeah, half 12.
Yeah. So like, the more than myself, Adam, at that time of night, you're up early in the morning, you're asleep, you're not trawling social media looking for any comments on your channel or on your feed. You're asleep. You get up the following morning. So I don't believe it was exactly Marcus that responded to that tweet in that fashion. But clearly, as you pointed out, his entourage are constantly trawling the social media landscape, looking for certain keywords. And if and when they do find them, they're responding in due course. So if you're Marcus Rashford, you need to go and hire some professionals. CEO was saying, never work with kids, never work with animals, and definitely don't work with family, because we all love our families, but I wouldn't work on any of them.
Oh, yeah, I know that, mate.
So, yeah, so go and hire professionals to do your social media and your marketing for you, first of all, Mark, because you have enough money to do so. And you've alluded to many times about Marcus and his entourage. And his entourage, as we're aware, had that interview arranged for him a few weeks back that wasn't on official club media. It was on another alternative source. And he didn't come out of that interview smelling roses either. So if you really want to stage manage a player and deflect from his failings on the pitch, well, surely logic would dictate you do it in a professional manner. I think his advisors are amateur at best, and they're making him look really bad to the fan base. He's not performing on the pitch, and I think his entourage are not doing many favors in the social media landscape either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Jarvis Cocker says, good evening, Jay Daly, buddy. Let's hope there's a chance we can get rid of the mediocre players. Only way to improve. Louise says, being a pro footballer in this day and age involves being a public figure, which leaves you open for criticism. If that affects Marcus Rashford's mental health, then maybe he needs the chance. He needs to change career paths. Jay, another one here from Chris Thompson, who says, who would you build the team around? Spine of the team for the 24-25 season. Who would you sign to build the squad? What sort of player do United need? Like, we need characters, Jay, but are there any out there that can change Manchester United? I said earlier on today that Manchester United ideally need 4 players. Them 4 players, for starters, because I know we need a lot more, have to be players that slot right into this team. Type of player would you be looking at, Jay?
Okay, so hi Chris, thanks for your question. We go on and on about characters, but I think is the character almost been coached out of players in modern day academies. I think a lot of academies nowadays they want to produce robots as opposed to so-called characters. I don't believe there are any more real characters left in the game. And if the financials don't stack up, we're just supposing we're not in Europa League as an example, and we are in the doldrums of a Conference League or no European football. Well, then what caliber of player are we going to attract anyway? Like you and I both know, everybody watching, the Champions League next season has a bloated format. For better or for worse. So your top level players or your top expiring 22-year-old wants to play Champions League football. We can't offer that. So already who we can recruit to even play Europa League, if that, is already going to be a level below the expectations of the fans. So Jim went on and on about the exalted 3-year plan. Well, I think that 3-year plan is already bust at him for me. It's more like a 5-year plan at best. So who can I pick right now? I actually can't pick players because we don't know, are we going to be in Europa League, Conference League, or no European football? So right now, it would miss me to pick any players because we could finish 6th, we could finish 9th. And it's all predicated on the next 3 games.
That's it. Like, what I wanted to also gauge was your answer to that question in terms of everybody looking now at like what players can actually come into United. I don't actually think anyone can pinpoint one particular player because we're so fixated and focused on players that should be leaving Manchester United before anything. The Exodus list is long and vast, Jay. It really is. I'm going to get into it in a second. Just quickly do a super chat from Mark Lambridge again. Thank you, Mark. People in the chat talking about his brother. I doubt it was him. Rashford's PR is Rock Nation, opened by Jay-Z, and they would have been up at 2:30 a.m. Like, if you've got someone over in America doing your social media from a different part of the world, then straight away that in itself is a red flag. Like, people have just said, like people are saying in the chat there, like Boxing Straight Talk says, look, he just needs to hire professionals instead of people within his family to do certain things. Like, sounds like he's got professionals in there, but like seriously, like you need people who actually know how to read the room, I think, and people who know football. It should always be about the football first and foremost because that's what's put you in this privileged position. So I think is where he's also going wrong. We need 2 centre-backs, a holding midfielder and a striker. We do, but here's the thing, Jay. The Exodus list is vast right now. Ten Hag has been talking that the possibilities that Martial might even play again this season. I've just laughed that one off this earlier on in the show. We're not even going to get into him. Like, if there's one way to actually wind yourself up even more than talking about Rashford, it's probably bringing Martial into the conversation. So we're going to leave that one out of it completely. But Raphael Varane, Anthony Martial, Johnny Evans, Tom Heaton, all going on a free transfer. We're hearing, and it's on the bottom of your screen there as well, guys, so you can see going across the bottom, that Christian Eriksen, even with a year left on his contract, Jay, is also going to be leaving on a free transfer and open for offers this summer. So there's a good half a team there that's going for free. The other reports are that Manchester United, in this financial situation, we're not being in the Champions League as well. Whether this is true or not, and whether PSR and financial fair play changes, but we've only got 100 million net spend, Jay, as well, which is a bit of a concern.
Wow, that's startling. So 6 players going on a free. You probably add 10 more players out of that you and I and the fans listening right now don't rate, want to get rid of. That's 16 deals, outs, plus 4 ins on 100 million budget. That's impossible in one summer. And we discussed on a previous show the fact that the lads are going to have 2 weeks off before the Euros, and then they're going to go on holidays after the Euros. So you and I both know then it's going to be very truncated transfer window come late July, early August. So are we going to get all the business done in a 6-week window? Absolutely not. I think the fans need to realise that we're going to be left with so much of the current dross for 2024, 2025, because simply there's not enough time to get rid of them, Adam. And that's just a harsh reality.
It is a big, big worry. It really is. Guys, keep please liking the video. Almost at the 150 mark. Keep them up. Keep sharing. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time. We passed the 43,000 mark earlier on today in the early show, so thank you again for that. Make sure you guys are downloading our SofaScore app. Bottom right hand corner of the screen there is the QR code. Scan on that for your best in-game action, odds, stats, player ratings, everything you need to know. Permutations, the lot. The best app out there. It's completely free. You just use our code or our link in the description. Also, our Optimally Me code on the left-hand side of your screen, just to the side of me. Bringing the doctors to your home, all of your health tests, blood tests, everything that you need, instead of having the stress of going to the doctors, right in your own home, with results coming within 48 hours on their database. It is the most simplest and easiest way to get straight to the problem, and they cover all issues that you might be having. And best thing out of all, it takes the anxiety of actually having to go out there and do it. Use the QR code there on the left-hand side. Obviously, use my code as well for your credits, actually your discount code credit. So get onto that. Fantastic opportunity and brilliant what them guys are doing as well. I'm pleased to be part of the team. Jay, a question for you from Kaz is, did you watch the United Couple podcast?
The United Couple podcast.
No, that's our new one, Jay. Our new podcast that we've got.
Okay, Cass, I'll have to watch that. I shall watch it.
I dropped you in it, Jay. I'm really sorry, mate.
Yeah, you dropped me in it there. Okay, so now you know what's going to happen now is because you and Cass have got a podcast. My partner knows, who's in the next room. She's going to want me to do a podcast with her. So you've totally landed me in the room, Cass. Thanks very much for that, darling.
There you go. Maybe we should get you on our podcast when you come over in May, mate, and have a bit of a group one. Maybe we should do something like that.
Maybe. So, guys, spoiler alert, because Adam's now the cat out of the bag. Adam and I are going to be meeting up for the Arsenal game. So
yes, we are, mate. Yes, we are.
There should be some banter at the ground that day, Adam.
Oh, there'll be plenty. There'll be plenty, mates. Like, can you imagine United handing the title to City by doing something against Arsenal? I can't, because of the way that both teams are playing, obviously, but you just don't know in football. Like, it'll be a bittersweet afternoon, I think, whichever way it goes, really, in the reality. It just shows you where we are and what we're actually clinging on to as a fan base with our team, though, right now, Jay, which is disappointing. But on to the game tomorrow, Jay. Burnley, Kompany, he's fighting for survival now. He's actually clawed his Burnley side back into the race to stay up here. With the shenanigans going on at Nottingham Forest, Luton hit and miss, Burnley have got a sneaky opportunity. A win tomorrow, Jay, definitely gives them a chance, and they're coming to Old Trafford They're probably looking at that Sheffield United game going, we just spanked Sheffield United for 4 without even blinking. Manchester United struggled into the second half to get them. Do you think they'll be confident coming to Old Trafford tomorrow?
I think they'll be very confident. Right now, Adam, we are Forest Gump FC. The aforementioned life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. A couple of weeks back, you asked me how many points did we get, and I flagged, "Oh yeah, we beat Sheffield, we beat Burnley." I was absolutely completely off the mark. We, apart from Bruno's worldie, we stuttered and stammered against Sheffield, and it's a lot of fans that were losing their rag on social media. It's like we'd beaten Real Madrid away to get to a Champions League final. Burnley fighting relegation. Vincent Kompany is the manager, who, as we know him as a player. You all do as a player. He was a proper hammer as a player. Tomorrow, he's going to have those players super motivated. They'll come tomorrow, and I don't want to be bemoaning tomorrow, Adam, with you that we've just lost 1-0 to Burnley. But man, I'm not confident.
No.
2 weeks ago I was confident. I'm not confident now. I'm actually shitting myself tomorrow against Burnley at home. Imagine that. Shitting myself. Burnley at home, and I am filled with trepidation.
It's just that, you know, you can't help. You can't help but like look at the scenario and the setup and Kompany being ex-City. City on another crest of a wave in the league right now, free-flowing football, and then Kompany goes and does United at Old Trafford. It's just like, just don't, United. Please, not tomorrow. Like, go out there and, like I said earlier on, Jay, like, when United win, no one's negative and it covers up everything. It's like, it just masks over all the problems at the club. When United are losing, all the skeletons come out the closet. They do. Like, all the issues rise up. Everyone's talking about the bad things about the club. Like, if you win, though, it's like no one can really say anything. You just need to look at the opposition, know that you're better than the opposition, play your game, go out there, do your jobs, have the mentality, have the bottle and the character to just get through a game at Old Trafford. Like, I'm not even going to ask for trying to do it without drama, because I know there's going to be drama, but just know that you are better and just go out and get the win. Like, it's simple and it eases the week, doesn't it, Jay? It just makes everything easy going into what is a tough game next Bank Holiday Monday against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it does, but we're playing the worst possible team, a team with something to play for. Like, I'd much rather if we were playing a mid-table team sitting down in 10th to 14, 15 place that literally have nothing to play for. The players are safe knowing the contracts are there for next season. There's Burnley players, they get relegated. Those lads lose thousands in the contracts playing championship football next season. So those Burnley players are going to be highly motivated. But as you pointed out, our lads should be, we are just better. We're technically better. We're at home. So City started early on, like the first 20 minutes against Sheffield, like, okay, it was Sheffield, and we got to contextualize it was Sheffield. And I'm going to keep repeating that. But we actually played some football for once. What a rarity. Play, like dominating a team at home at Old Trafford. I think it was the Crystal Palace start of the season, the last time that happened, or Wolves. I can't recall. It's been so long ago. So they need to start that game in the manner they started against Sheffield. If we do our normal gig and we sit back and we're ponderous on the ball, Burnley, they grow in confidence, think, you know what, lads, we can get these. And I know you alluded to in your shows during the week that how much better we were, minus our mate Rashford. Mm-hmm. So right. Do you think Ten Hag has the balls tomorrow to stick him on the bench?
Well, he said no one's going to be back apart from Mason Mount. So does that mean that Rashford is still out? I'd not looked into that too much because I was taken away with all of the hurrah of Marcus Rashford and all the other crap that was going on today. But I think the noise is coming out is that Mason Mount is available for tomorrow, which is good. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to shoehorn Mount in, but I don't think he will because of the injury issues that he's had. Ten Hag never rushes injured players back unless it's McTominay, Rashford, Maguire, any one of his favourite crew. But without Marcus Rashford tomorrow, again, I think it's a harder working team. I don't think Anthony lit up the stage against Sheffield United. I thought he had a bit of a poor outing. To be honest, I was hoping he was going to be better, but he was working hard. At least we can stay in shape and be combative. And do you know what? I think one thing Ten Hag did say in the press conference after the Sheffield United game, Jay, was that we didn't panic when we went behind twice. We don't seem to when we go behind, Jay. It seems to work better for us because for some reason, we sort of find it easier to come from behind and get victories and get back into games. But it's when we're leading, we don't know how to play, Jay. That's the problem, isn't it? So again, it's like if United scored an early goal tomorrow, the point I'm trying to make is it's like I wouldn't feel confident still. I'm not confident at 2-0. Like 3-0 was a push for bleeding Coventry, Jay. So it's, again, like I said, it's going to need characters. There could be different ways that the game plays out tomorrow. And they just need to stand up again. Your Harry Maguire's, Bruno Fernandes and then whoever's replacing Marcus Rashford. We're just praying, Jay, that they have a great game or a good game, just so that drops that element of doubt into Ten Hag's head for the next game.
Yeah, obviously being 3-0 ahead against Coventry, none of us could have thought in our wildest dreams that we couldn't close out against Coventry at 3-0. But it's been proven time and time again that we are at our most vulnerable, ironically, when we're leading a game. We go a goal down under Ten Hag era. That's when United actually start playing. So don't be surprised tomorrow if we're 1-0 down at half time and we go second half playing Stretford end and scrape it 2-1. That's not beyond real's possibility. But it goes back to what you referenced at the start of the show, characters. Tomorrow, it's a scrap. You need your characters. And I think the spark, I think the skill level between us v Burnley, I think tomorrow that's nullified. Tomorrow is about a question of who wants it more.
That is it, yeah. Definitely right on that one. I think it is high pressure for both for different reasons. And like you said, Dan, who wants it more out of both of them too? Ten Hag obviously needs it for his own job. I think Vincent Kompany, he's safe in his job, but he wants to survive relegation. What's more important? Like, are these players going to down tools again for Ten Hag? I don't think that the players are necessarily not trying. I think they are trying, but they haven't got any guidance, and I think that's on Ten Hag, Jay. So it'll be interesting to see how he sets out tomorrow, who he plays. Who would you play, Jay, instead of Rashford? Just out of curiosity. And guys, let me know who you would play in the chat as well. Rashford not playing. I think we can safely say it's Garnacho and Højlund, but who's the other one, Jay, for you?
Pick Ahmed.
Ahmed over Anthony.
Ahmed, yeah, 100%. I think Anthony found his level against Newport County, and he's what he did against Watford. Sorry, Coventry last Sunday. After that penalty shootout, it just shows the mentality of that gentleman. After Ahmed tomorrow, I think Ahmed super motivated. Never for me got a fair crack at it with the club so far. There's only a couple of games left. So if you're not playing Rashford, just give Ahmed a run. Play Ahmed until the cup final and see what the guy can do from the start.
Yep, another player who's getting plenty of criticism, or has been this season. We've both given it him, even though I love the guy. Bruno Fernandes. Jay, we've had a super chat in from Mark Lambridge who says, Jay, what did you think of Bruno in the last game? Actually, Jay, give me your thoughts on Bruno overall over the last few weeks. Because I've said, and I don't want you to go along with what I've said, Jay, your own opinion, obviously, as you always do. But I thought Bruno has actually stood up and been counted over the last few weeks, but especially against Sheffield United. And it's like, for me and you, a guy playing with a broken hand, no excuses, getting out there, just getting on with a job. It's hard for us not to praise someone like that, I think. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but that's just how I felt about it.
Okay, a lot's been made of his 25 goal involvements this season, more than De Bruyne. I think that was a standout stat that everybody was touting on X during the week. Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, lovely and all that. But Bruno, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I firmly believe Bruno's a stat pattern. And I believe that. And I'm not going to suddenly drop that my opinion, just because he got us a win against Sheffield. Not a chance. He's stat pattern, plain and simple. Is he good enough to be captain of our club? No. I think Bruno goes missing in games, and then when Bruno decides he's going to turn it on, he can turn it on. But he hasn't turned it on enough for me over the last couple of years. I think his leadership skills are lacking. Moaning and groaning to referees, constant referees' ear, like Jack Russell nipping on your heels. If anything, that annoys the referee. So when the referee is about to give a 50-50 decision, and Bruno's in his ear for the 10th time as captain, that referee will not give it a 50-50. So I think he needs to micromanage more how he approaches referees. He's going to be here next season. He's going to be captain again. But for me, I would not be building my team around Bruno Fernandes. I want to see Bruno Fernandes be a cog in a wheel playing for a more tactically astute manager, not to be the talisman of a team. It was easy for him to be talisman of a team on a Solskjaer. Closed doors, no fans, and we play counter-attacking football. And he could play 3 or 4 40-yard passes in a game. One might come off and he'd get an assist. But even against Coventry, remember the end of the game when it was time to shut the game down, he was still playing stupid passes. I like his character, but I would not be building my team around him. That's my take on Bruno.
Yeah. I think we both agree in terms of, like, Bruno will be gone in, I reckon, 4 years. I don't see the club selling him. That's just the facts. I think he will get a new contract. Would you be all right if Bruno was part of this squad on a cut-down price, Jay? And do you think the players listen to Bruno on the pitch? Is another super chat question from Craig. Thank you, Craig.
I think some do. I don't believe Rashford does.
Does Rashford listen to anyone?
Listen to anybody? Well, on Rashford, like Rashford had the opportunity to learn from Ronaldo and Ibrahimovic, but he was so self-absorbed he didn't even take that. So Rashford doesn't listen to him. I think Garnacho does. Højlund does to a degree. But I think Bruno, he's hit and miss for me. He's hot and cold. He'll definitely get another contract. I've got no issue with that. No issue whatsoever. But I would not be building my team around Bruno Fernandes. Now, people in the chat can agree, disagree. That's totally fine. It's all about opinion.
It is indeed. I just put that poll up as well. Mark's requested it. Bruno Fernandes for captain. Let me know, guys, before we finish the show. We'll see where everyone is at with that one. AJ Bruno always was that player moaning, even in sporting days. I think most of the Portuguese players, you look at Portuguese players, by the way, and you look at what they're like, they're all the same. They have that mentality. You look at when something happens at United, you see Dalot, you see Bruno going over. Look at Bernardo Silva. Look at all of these players, the Portuguese players. They're all the same. They're just it's embedded in them. Ronaldo was one of these players as well. You see what Ronaldo did to Rooney. Like, they'll do anything to win. That's their mentality. And that's how Bruno thinks. He's not going to change. I love him for the fact that he won't change the way he plays, and he hasn't dropped to the level that Manchester United make players drop to. Like, he hasn't been dragged down with the crap. He's fighting to stay above water. Keep his head above water level. That's where Bruno is at for me. But yeah, a lot of people agree with you, Jay, on that one. Going forward, is there a better option? Is there a better captain at Manchester United right now? Honestly, I don't think there is, in terms of players that are fit enough, that stay on the pitch long enough, that we can actually build a future around. There really isn't. I think Bruno fits that mould for what this club has got at its disposal right now, and maybe that's why he is captain. But he leads by example in determination, I would say that. Bruno played 32 games. Kevin De Bruyne played 13. Where did this stat come from? It come from social media, Modern Samurai. That's where it comes from. I think the one that he's got over Odegaard is more important. I think that one holds stronger. Like, if you've got better stats than Odegaard, then yeah, you're definitely up there in the reckoning. But I said, I don't think still, Jay, that there is any Man United player right now that gets into any of them teams in that top 3. I don't know about you.
No, absolutely not. possibly in a couple of years' time, Garnacho, Menu, and Hoyland, if they continue on their current trajectory, yeah, maybe they will be players that we would talk about playing for, like a Real, a Barca, or a Man City, or whatnot. But right now, there's none of our players, I'll include Bruno Fernandes in that any of the teams above us would consider taking.
Definitely. It's a harsh reality yet again. But score prediction for tomorrow, Jay. What are you going with? What's it going to be?
I'll take a 1-0 right now off Maguire's arse.
Yeah, honestly, anything. Like, all I care about is results right now. I don't expect the team. I'm not going to put the pressure on the team to actually put in a performance. Like, hard-working performances, giving absolutely everything. I think that's what we can sort of expect as a minimum from this team. But in terms of a style, a certain way of playing, like, no, I don't expect it. Like, I expect full determination, and hopefully our good players can see us through and they stand up and get us the points. Like, complete reset in the summer. But yeah, let's get the W. That's more important than anything. But yeah, guys, that is it. That's it. All done and dusted for us. Jay, again, mega mate, thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
Appreciate it. And again, sorry for being late. Traffic kind of got the better of me today.
Don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry. I need everyone in the chat right now to just scan up to that like button. Let's see if we can hit that 200 mark just before we finish. That'll be 2 shows in a row where we've hit that 200, guys. So please do give the video a like while you can. A quick one from Henry there, who's always in with a chat there. Hi, Adam and Jay. Bruno was playing in his correct position as he does for Portugal for the first time where he is most effective. That's why he had an excellent game in my book. Your opinions on that, guys? Yeah, you just play the best players in their best positions. It's as simple as that. It really is. And yeah, let's try doing that more often. If it is without Rashford in the team, that's good. That is good. But yeah, let's shut down that poll quickly as well. Most people saying yes for Bruno for captain, but it is very close. 55-45. So yeah, that sort of says where it's at right now. No one can really make their minds up. But that is us all done. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you give the video a like. In the description as well is the link to the new podcast. Episode 2 is coming out on Monday. Go and watch episode 1 if you haven't already. People are raving about it. People are loving it. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's something we've been planning for a while and we put a lot into. So yeah, episode 2 coming on Monday as well. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much. As we just crawl over the 200 like mark. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. We are out of here. Back tomorrow. Me and Jay will be back after the game as well later on tomorrow night, guys, for the breakdown. And all of your normal matchday content coming for you around Old Trafford as well. Until then, have a great evening. Get a drink. And get yourself ready for, let's hope, not too much of a stressful weekend. But we'll be covering it either way. See you tomorrow, guys.